Welcome to Stream of Conscious Podcast. I'm your host, Joel Dolly Cox. This is my co-host, Joe Four Eye Stout.
Good. I like it.
Getting better looking around the room.
Nice.
So,
I go a little more random. I go like, sometimes I'm like driving in my car and I'll just come up with something like, as I'm just, like, not necessarily something I go past, but like sometimes I try to make it like a thing that doesn't necessarily pertain to anything, like it's cookie dough or something. You know, like just give it a little more off the wall. You're more focused in on what's going on. Yours usually have meaning. Mine are more arbitrary.
Sometimes I might have hidden meaning I don't tell anybody about.
Well, I'm assuming 4 eyes is because I don't have my contacts in today.
Yeah.
What do we got on the list to talk about today?
How about cookouts?
Cookouts. I love cookouts.
I love cookouts too.
I like cookouts, like, and we talked about this before, because every so often, and maybe, I don't know if it's just me or if this is like a phenomenon, like, is it normal to invite somebody to a cookout if you barely know them? Like, who do you invite to a cookout?
It depends on the cookout.
If you're having, like, just a backyard barbecue.
But what's the occasion?
I don't know, like not necessarily a holiday or something, just like if you're just having a cookout, just have a cookout. Like, would you invite, like, your neighbors to that? Not necessarily your neighbors, but like if you had neighbors that weren't a-holes. Like,
So if I had neighbors that I hung out with, like in the sitcoms?
Yeah. Well, I think it's different, because then it's friends. Then you're inviting friends over.
But there's neighbors and there's friends.
Okay.
If you have neighbors that you interact with because you guys live in the same neighborhood and maybe, like, I don't know, you guys have to take care of the road together. Like, I know one guy, he lives in a place they have a private lane. So they're all responsible for the private lane, so they all clean off a section of the road.
So they kind of are forced to know each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you got the ones who are actually neighbors and friends. So, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the level of...
See, like, it's one thing, I think, to invite someone
Because it's one of those things, if you invite one neighbor, you invite all the neighbors. Just like, I had friends, when I was in the school district, in foreign language, I invited all the people from one. Because I hang out with them, I didn't want them thinking I didn't want to invite one because not the other. But, like, I don't know, I'm very strategic on who I invite. Like, if I invite people that to a cookout and I know they might know each other, I might invite the other person just to make sure that they know that it's not because it's not them. But, like, you also got the ones that are themed. Like, if I'm having a cookout with my friends who play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm only inviting my friends who play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right, because you're keeping like minds alike.
If I'm doing something spontaneous, I'll invite everybody I can think of just to make sure that people can go.
I have been invited to cookouts by people that are pretty much total strangers to me. Not like, hey, I know someone, you know someone, I'm inviting them to the cookout, so do you want to come along? Like, this isn't like a friend of a friend type thing. These are like, when I was delivering furniture, I delivered furniture to a guy, and he said he was having a cookout that weekend. We just started BSing while I was putting together some of his furniture, and he invited me to his cookout. And he wasn't like just being polite, like he was very serious.
And you didn't go.
And I didn't go because I was worried nobody else would show up, and that he was going to cook me or something. Like, I don't know this guy. I don't know him. I wasn't...
Anytime you're invited to a cookout, you go to the cookout.
No, I disagree. I didn't know him well enough to want to go to his crazy cookout, and it might have been me. Like, how do I know he wasn't going to, like, murder me? Or
he wasn't going to... friend. You can't murder two people at once.
You can murder two people at once.
Not the same exact time.
What if you gives us both the same Kool-Aid? Yeah. Think about it. If you wanted to kill two people at the same time, couldn't you do it?
You can't rely on the Kool-Aid. Because you've seen Cuffs. You've seen the movies Cuffs, have you not?
I did see Cuffs, yes.
And he put the cuffs up in the coffee. And the guy drinks cold coffee, not warm coffee.
But he did get drugged.
Eventually
was...
But, like, if my one buddy doesn't drink Kool-Aid...
I don't want to die sooner or later. I don't want to die not at all.
Just saying.
Or what if it's not even that? What if, like, I show up and it's like his whole family's there and this guy's just a whack job and he's now introducing me as his boyfriend or something? Like, now I gotta fight that? I gotta be polite? I gotta pretend to be his hubby?
No, you don't. You say no. You be like, look, I was invited for food. I just know this guy delivers his furniture.
Who's gonna believe that I showed up to some random guy's house for a couple cheeseburgers for no reason at all? I don't even know the guy. I happened to be at his house.
He's a nice guy. I was trying to make friends.
Yeah, I've got enough friends. I'm not showing up to random people's cookouts.
My best friend died in a car accident a couple years ago. And this is around the 80th anniversary. So I was trying to make new friends. And apparently I walked into a hornet's nest, so I'm just going to go home now.
Bye, everybody! No, because you know what? I'm not that. I would probably play along with it just for shits and giggles. No, I know not to. I know I don't want to, but I probably would, just because then I'd want to see everybody's reaction. But within my luck or something, I'd probably know somebody there. It'd be like one of my cousins or something, and they would tell my mom, and my mom would go, "When did you find a boyfriend, and why is he so much older than you?" Or whatever. My mom's Yiddish in this particular example. No, but I've not just that. Like, that's not the first time or even the last time I think that I was invited to a cookout by total strangers. Like, it's happened to me multiple times. Like, I've had just like kind of like hanging around. I'm trying to think what else it's happened. Like, I've been places that different functions and stuff that I've been to for one thing or another, something for work or whatever, and just start talking to somebody and they're overly friendly and then they want to invite you over. And those are the people I don't want to be around. Like, overly friendly people, I don't mind, because I'm overly friendly, but I'm not overly friendly to the point where you're being invited to my personal life things. Like, I have to get to know you a little bit better before I want to hang out on that kind of basis. But aside from total strangers, I love cookouts. I like and we do a lot with family wise. My wife's family is big on cookouts. They like doing cookouts and stuff. My family not so much. Really, my sister's the only one that does anything anyways, and usually like she does like the holidays and stuff. But it's been a while since I've been to a cookout. You go to a lot of cookouts. More than most people.
I've not gone to as many as I used to.
Weren't we supposed to have a cookout at your folks' house?
Yes.
That's not happening.
No, it's going to happen. I need to talk to my mom about that, actually.
All right. Well, when's that going down? I want to go to it. I'm excited for it.
I will figure that out.
That I will go to.
Because it's
you and Jonesy went to a cookout with the friend or something. Didn't you guys have like a mutual friend you went to a cookout not too long ago? Oh, maybe I'm making stuff up.
No, we made chicken waffles at Jones's house.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I used to go to a lot of cookouts back in the day because my friend Scott...
That is what I was thinking, because you went to his folks and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I remember we were talking about that.
I'd go to my friends' folks' cookouts. I'd go to coworkers' cookouts. Like, I love going to cookouts. Because I like meeting people at cookouts. Because, like, everyone's relaxed. Usually, like, it's people that I don't mind being around.
The best cookouts... graduation parties.
No.
Graduation parties always are the best.
I disagree.
You gotta bring that and
you gotta bring a gift.
And I haven't lived in a neighborhood where it's happened in a long time, but like block parties are the other best cookouts.
I've never been to a block party cookout.
I don't know if it's big in this part of I think that's one of those things that you always hear about and you see on movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if it's big in our region. I don't think block parties are super common here. But like, if you go other places, I think like maybe that's like a West Coast thing where people do a lot of that.
Do you ever feel like you watch a movie and you see something and you realize, I never did that. Does that really happen?
Yeah. Those are dirty movies that I watch quietly.
The movie Can't Hardly Wait. That really made me think about my senior year and if there was an actual party that I missed.
I did go to some pretty big parties.
I never went to any parties in high school.
No, see, I went to more than a few parties
and
in high school.
Superbad, like, that made me...
Well, that was like, that was exaggerated. That was a huge party.
But the point is, there were parties that people got invited to that I never got invited to.
No. I went to not many parties, but in high school I went to a handful. I didn't really blossom in high school. Like, I was not the coolest kid to hang out with in high school. I know, shocking, right? Mm-hmm. But college, I went to a handful of really fun college parties. There was more than a few that I went to in college that were kind of like big above and beyond parties. But and I wasn't really in a frat or anything, so and
I refuse to get into a frat.
Yeah, I didn't do the whole frat life, and I don't...
Frat life!
Did I date any sorority girls in
college? Of
college?
course you did. You had to.
I didn't date that many girls in college.
Wasn't Autumn... No.
Meredith. Meredith was in a frat. Or a sorority.
Wasn't Melissa?
Melissa was after... She cheated on me. She joined a sorority. She wasn't... Not while she was with me. She wasn't in... Well, I mean, while she was dating other guys and still with me, I think is whenever she joined a sorority. But I didn't go to any sorority parties with her. We actually made up afterwards. Like we buried the hatchet, her and I.
Yeah, in your cell.
I showed up. I was walking by one time and she was covering one of the desks at I can't remember which dorm, the one at the end down by the parking lot, and I was walking by and I saw her inside and I went in to say hi, just being polite because we were at that point we were
Stanley.
Maybe Stan. I don't remember. Is that the one that was all the way at the end across from Gallagher Hall?
No, that was Longnecker.
Longnecker. Yeah, she was working. Not important, but she was working the desk.
Yes, it is. This is very important.
And
I know my Cal U history.
And I walk in just to say hi.
2003!
And she's talking to some dude, and she's working her magic on this guy. And I come in, and I just like, you know what? I'm entitled to. No, not that kind of magic.
For the audio listeners, no, I'm not going to say.
No. And if I tell you no, it's bad. This is why we don't have video anymore.
If you want to
know No.
If you want to know what happened, simply email the podcast, and I will email you back and tell you.
Yeah, okay. In the privacy of an undisclosed email.
Yep.
But no, I came in and she was talking to some dude, and I didn't realize at the time, like I wouldn't have bothered her had I known. But because she was talking to this guy, I was like, this is my opportunity to get vengeance on her. And so I came in and I just kind of blew it up for her. Like I just started so much crap on and ratted her out for cheating on me and everything like that and all this stuff. And this dude was like, after like 5 minutes of this back and forth, he was like, all right, see you later. And he took off because he wanted nothing to do with it. And I knew that I ruined it for her. And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm just saying at the moment, I didn't feel guilty about it. And coincidentally, still don't. But we ended up talking for a while and actually were able to kind of...
reconcile?
Yes, exactly. Like, and it was peaceful. Do the what?
Who got the hamster?
Who got the hamster?
Yeah.
Is that a sex position?
No.
Because if so, neither one of us.
Because you reconciled, so you had to split up the stuff and...
No. No, there was... I don't know if she stole any of my stuff or not. Every girl I've ever dated has taken at least a shirt. Melissa
is the reason I got into Beanie Babies for a while.
Beating babies?
Beanie Babies, not Beanie.
That is not at all what I have heard.
Beanie Babies.
Joel beats children.
I do not.
So you got into Beating Babies because of her?
No, Beanie Babies, little figures.
So she
I bought a squirrel and I bought a porcupine.
Okay. Did she collect those?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she cheated on me. I don't remember anything about her.
I did not.
Not you, her.
You know, I've noticed though. I'm friends with a lot of my friends' exes, which is kind of weird.
I don't think that's all that weird. Like you're a lovable dude. Now, and here's the thing: is any of the girls that I have dated that you've got to know have always liked you. Mm-hmm. They've always been favorable to you.
Which I don't even understand.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, and I don't want to run the list of girls that I've dated, and there's even a few that I didn't date, but I kind of hung out with, and they all either knew you from me, or I knew them from you.
I was Scooter Boy, aka Mail Boy, aka the guy in the dorm that checked all the computers.
Yeah, you were the computer boy quite a bit.
I got around.
I also got around, but in a very different way. So
can I tell the computer story?
Which one?
The one where you want to learn how to fix computers?
Oh, you guys the girl in the Spider-Man underoos?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So
Did I just ruin the whole story there?
Yeah. So Joe wanted to learn how to fix computers because he noticed I knew a lot of girls. So I'm like, okay. So the one girl had a computer problem. I'm like, oh, it's my friend Joe. He wants to learn how to do computer repair. So we go in and we're talking and trying to fix a computer. I'm showing Joe how to do stuff. Joe's not paying attention, but Joe didn't care.
No, because she was too... I was paying attention, just not to what you were telling me.
So then, she mentions that she had Spider-Man underoos. Joe looks at me.
I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the win me over moment in that. And she was cute as a button, too.
Mm-hmm.
She was adorable. I don't remember her name, though. Michelle. I wanted to say Megan for some reason. But yeah, Michelle. Now that you say that, I remember it. But well, here's why I don't remember it. I don't think I ever talked to her after that.
Nope.
Nothing ever came of that one. I don't know how she could resist my charm.
I remember one girl I made friends with because the dude that was actually training for my job, because I did the same thing for college, and he met this girl. I forget her name. She was, as we say, a lady of the night. Well, she told me, she's like, oh well, I cut down. I only hooked up with 15 guys this semester.
That's a lot.
There's 15 weeks in the semester, which means you average one a week.
Yeah,
and she's cutting down.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
College is a time to experiment and learn and try new things. But at a certain point, it's not new anymore.
You can only play Russian roulette with 5 bullets for so long before you catch something.
Yeah, that's daring. But good for her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she made a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But I didn't really date that many. Like I wasn't like a total slut either. I wasn't going around hooking up with every girl. I was trying with more than my fair share, but I wasn't passing it around. I wasn't I wasn't hitting double digits in a semester for certain. I wasn't hitting double digits the entire time I was in school for sure. That wasn't quite that wasn't my calling in life.
Well, it's not mine either.
But I dated a variety of type of girl. I explored some option there, and but not sorority girl though. So, but I did do a lot of parties. And no, I'm not getting into all the stories. That's too much because there's not all of it stuff to be proud of. There was a girl or so that probably would have been better off left alone.
Yeah. At
least one or two. But no boyfriends came to beat me up, so...
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, you're not in trouble unless you get caught. So, wisdom from Aladdin.
True. So, in other news...
Well, you didn't go to parties in high school. Did you go to parties in college, though?
Not really. I made friends with people, and we just hung out. A couple times I got invited to new places. Like, when Jefferson got set up, the girl we were talking about, the 15 in 1 week semester, I ended up making friends with her roommates. We played some shopping game. It was like one of those board games. You had to match this stuff and collect all these things.
Oh, I know which game you're talking about too. I don't know. Remember?
And here's the funny part. I actually figured out a system for the game. Because you'd have to get certain things. Like you gotta get 3 of these blues, 2 of these reds, and whatever. But when you start asking for the same cards over and over again, people will figure out what you want, and they try and block you by getting them. So I would ask for stuff I didn't need to throw people off. I would pick stuff out of the deck to get what I needed, but I'd ask for stuff
that was different than what you needed.
Yeah. So they'd stockpile something else. I had these.
This is it was called the Mall or something like that. I remember this game. I don't know why I never played it, but I know the game you're talking about.
I became a mall shark in an hour.
This is not a dude's game either. This
no,
is
it's
not one of those games that it's not a unisex game.
But you know what? I was hanging out with 4 cute girls. I'm this is kind of cool.
You know what though? I got to give you that because that's a good play. Well, and in college I did. I went to school for theater.
Yeah.
So really, and that's everybody. I've told the story multiple times about my first meeting with you. That you walked in my room and you were like, "What's your major?" And I was like, "Theater." And you're like, "Better not be gay. Dinner's at 5." And that's and that was the stigma that followed you around in being in theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of didn't get into theater for the girls. That's to be upfront about it. No, I didn't. I got into theater because I wanted to act.
You thought lesbians meant something else.
But while I was there...
Did you not?
I never even heard the term thespian until I went to college. And then you and Dan started calling me all the time, and I was like, I better look that word up. But yeah, I didn't say no to theater because of the girls. And being the straight guy in the theater did not work against me. It gave me some play. But I behaved. I wasn't out of control.
Nope.
Still not. Being married slowed me down a whole lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure my wife would appreciate that.
When you have a girlfriend for 5 years or more.
Yeah, your wife might find out about her.
Well, you know what's funny though? I'm friends with a lot of women at work, and I feel because I'm married, I'm not a threat. They don't think I'm trying to get them. I'm not, but it's
Yeah. No, I get that. You never really came across as any kind of threatening. You were always very respectful, even when you were single. You were always very polite and very respectful to girls, and you were never abrasive or
Well, really?
Well, because I was always around you, so there was no need to be.
The thing was, I wasn't abrasive without a reason.
No, you weren't one of those guys. Like everybody knows those guys that are just like playing the odds. Like those guys that are just it's a numbers game.
Oh yeah,
where they hit on every girl, just waiting for one of them to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's plenty of guys out there that are really just kind of trying to. I don't know what the male version of a whore is, but there's male whores out there that are just going after. But you were never like that. Like you weren't falling in love with. Are you googling what the male word is for whore? I don't think they've come up with one yet. I'm certain that there's probably a group of feminists working on it at the moment, but I don't think that there's anything.
I believe the term is man whore.
Man whore? That feels a little trite. That feels like you're clawing at the straws there.
Fine, we'll go to Cora. We'll see what Cora says.
Who is Cora?
Cora is a question and answer thing.
She sounds
womanizer, philanderer, player, slut, man, whore, cheater, sleaze, creep, bastard, dog, pig, asshole, douchebag, jerk, dick. Won't say that one. Won't say that one.
Either you did say it or it's worse than what you did say.
No, it's worse than what I did say.
Oh, you have to send me that one. I need the...
Wow.
Alright, so... But there's guys out there like that. And you were never that guy. You were always very polite and very respectful.
Yeah.
If you were mean to anybody, it was because you felt they deserved to be talked to. You were never shy about being harsh to anyone, but it was because they deserved it, not because... You know, not because of what they were, what they believed, or what their orientation was. So...
One of my favorite stories when I was in middle school, there was this kid, and he was Jewish. And his parents were convinced that he was getting picked on because he was Jewish. And the history teacher said to me, he's not picked on because he's Jewish, he's picked on because he's a dick. I was like, awesome.
Oh, you gotta edit some words out of this one.
Like what?
Like the one you just said.
Dick?
Can we say that?
Dick, 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 dick.
Your mom watches this show.
I'm gonna beep it out.
Alright.
This is gonna be hilarious. You ever see the count counts? And they count, every time he says count, they beep it out?
Oh, dude, I watched I love that there's those unnecessary editing ones, unnecessary censorship ones. Those crack me up. I love that. Like where they do like the Sesame Street, and there's all kinds of different ones that they do. I like those, and I like the ones where they do the NFL
bad
lip sync. Yeah, lip reading or lip sync, whatever that one is. I love those too. I watch those hours on end. Those are great. But yeah, watching Elmo get bleeped out is one of my favorite things ever.
I'm wearing this to dinner tonight.
Your Mancini's bread shirt.
Yep.
That is cool. What else do we got to talk about here? I know we have a couple other subjects we wanted to cover.
I bought a bike a couple weeks ago. Did I tell you my experience with Facebook and buying stuff?
You bought a bike on Facebook?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How did that work out for you? Because that's something I'm curious about. Because I've seen like these sales on Facebook.
So Facebook now has a sales feature.
So this isn't like a friend that you knew had a bike and you bought it off him. This is like you bought it off that Facebook.
I went on the group looking for bicycles. Now, back in 2006, 2008, I dropped $300 on a new mountain bike. It was from Walmart, but it was dual shocks. It had disc brakes, and it was steel and was heavy as F. And I kind of liked that bike, but then the rear derailleur exploded because it hit a tree. So it took me a while to finally get it fixed. But I was getting ready to ride it. My friend's neighbor lost his bike, and my friend has an apartment built onto their house that they run after this guy, and he has a couple DUIs, so he can't drive.
I remember. Okay,
his bike got stolen, so I gave him a bike. Well, now fast forward 2 years later, I'm like, I really want to ride again, but I don't want to spend all that money on a bike. So I figured I'll buy a cheap one on Facebook, I'll fix it up, and then I'll have a bike. So I looked on Facebook, couldn't really find anything under $50 or under. Found a bike for $25. Like, sweet. Message lady, she's like, yeah, it's available. So, Memorial Day weekend, I go over, and I message her, say, could you be available? Now I'm in the hospital. Okay. Following weekend, I message her. Yeah, I'll be available Sunday after 12 o'clock. Okay. Later that night, I get a message. Well, my son doesn't want to sell his bike, So, is that a problem? No, that's fine. Sunday morning. Yes, my son's girlfriend bought him a bike. You still want this? I'm like, no, my wife bought me one, actually. Thank you. It didn't happen, but I was like giving her the satisfaction. I refuse. So then...
Yeah, after she jerked you around all that time.
So then I look on Facebook again, bike's down to $20. I'm like, ha, lady, that's what you get!
So you didn't end up buying a bike off of her. Did you get one still on Facebook?
So a week later, I see a bike for $40. It was Sunday morning. I messaged the guy. Within 30 seconds, he replies, yeah, it's still available. I'm like, where can I meet you? He's up in Butler. He's like, maybe BC3. I look up BC3 on the internet. It said Butler
Community College.
No, Beaver Community College.
Beaver Community College, right.
So it's like a community college. He goes, yeah. I'm like, I'll be up there at 2 o'clock. He's like, no, 1 o'clock. Okay. So I drive up to Beaver. Nice campus. I'm like, I'm looking around, don't see anybody there. You here yet? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I said, Beaver Community College. He goes, no, Butler. So I Google, I'm an hour out. I'm like, F. So I drive all the way over, I meet the guy, pick up the bike, I meet my buddy Dave. Dave, who listens to the podcast.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave. So we tried the bike on the trail. Bike tire in the front is horrible. So I'm like, I'll give it a try. But I'm still out of shape still. So we knew that. So I'm like, hey, I gotta find rims. Looking, $60 plus to buy them new. I'm thinking I can get tire treat maybe. So in the following weekend, he messaged me, hey, I found some tires for $5. You want them? Yeah, get them and I'll come up and get them. So I got them, put them on. I'm still working on it. But it was actually a good experience with Facebook once I got somebody who wasn't a jerk.
Where somebody didn't want to jerk you around.
But yeah, I love the idea.
That's awesome. Then he found you tires afterwards.
Mm-hmm. I love the ability to search my local area and buy stuff. And unlike Craigslist, who has Dwayne will point out, so if I was selling a bike on Craigslist and say I want $50, a dude would walk up and be like, yo, I got $20, I have a hoagie, and 2 vitamin waters. Let's do this.
Oh, people do love to haggle on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
Craigslist creeps me out. Like that is just one of those things. It was a great concept, and it does still really well. But Craigslist is where you go. Like if you are into something really odd, something really off the wall, then Craigslist might be. It's a great place to go if you're a weirdo and you need another weirdo to help you collect a thing or to do a thing or to whatever. But aside from that, as far as actual functionality, Craigslist is not the place to go to find someone reliable, dependable, and it's just not where you head for that, in my opinion. I haven't done a whole lot of Craigslist shopping, but I imagine unless you're looking for a teenage transvestite with a fetish for peeing on people, probably not going anywhere other than Craigslist.
MySpace, maybe.
MySpace. We don't know. We don't know what's going on MySpace. MySpace is elusive. I can't believe it still exists.
It does.
We should create a new, like Facebook or new MySpace. Because think of all the younger generation at this point has got to be. That's why Facebook did so well. Is because everybody started going on MySpace, and then like your parents started going on MySpace, and people it was really not meant for the older generation. It was meant for the younger crowd, and it was a way for them to communicate and talk without having the adult environment there. And then Facebook came along, so everybody went over to Facebook, because Facebook originally was for like college kids. It wasn't meant for everybody. It was just like a college environment. So now Facebook's expanded. My mom's on Facebook. I'm sure your mom's on Facebook. Yeah. Like people's grandmothers are on Facebook at this point. Everybody's on Facebook. There needs to be a new. I'm guaranteeing you that within the next 2 years, something huge is going to come up and take over. Maybe not take over. I think Facebook has got itself big enough now that it's a giant that it's not going anywhere. But I'm willing to bet that something is going to step into that social media footprint very shortly. And I think we should develop it.
No. Too much money, too much time. By the time it gets developed, we'll be out of money.
I'll fund it. As long as it takes less than $33.28.
And on that note, folks.
And that's it. Think about it, though. I think it's a good run. You consider it. You do what you want to do. All right.
I'm going to say you should like, comment, subscribe at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
In Joe Space. Joe. What do I want to name my social media?
Joe's Face.
Joe's Face. Like us on Joe's Face. Facebook, MySpace, Twitter.
So we don't have MySpace.
And Bluetooth.
That's not a thing.
Siri.
It might be a thing.
And DirecTV.
Good night, folks.
Night, everybody.